Actually, parang ano lang to, introduction dun sa next chapter. So here we have the traveler decision making. Diba? We already assess the motivation of the customer. So what are we going to do after we assess those motivations? So syempre, those destinations are all competing with the attention na makukuha nila from the paying customers. Okay? So here, the traveler, they are all motivated to travel, meron na silang reason to travel, they have the need to travel, and then the next thing is their decision making. Saan kaya ako pupunta dito sa resort na ito? Ito kayang si A or si B? Si A kasi may maganda yung kanyang amenities very high-end, very classy. Ito namang si B medyo hindi maganda, medyo maalikabok. At saka nakita ko yung reviews nito parang hindi maganda. So, A ako. So, si A as a destination, mabuboost yung kanyang marketing. Ay, effective pala yung ginawa namin. So, that's the purpose of learning how to drive or how to catch the decision-making factor of a traveler. So the traveler decision-making, the never-ending journey. Okay, why is it never-ending? Because, as we said, tourism never ends. It just stops, but hindi siya natitigil. Like for example, right now, medyo stop siya, nandun siya sa phase ng moment na tourism na medyo nag-pause ng konti. Pero I assure you, tourism will never have the period. Wala siyang period. Koma lang, walang period. It will never stop. Okay? So, decision-making processes. Take note of the 6 commonalities on decision-making process. Okay? It will come out to your midterm. First, consumer behavior is a constant decision-making process. The individual consumer is emphasized. Behavior is rational or utilitarian and can be explained. A buyer actively searches for, evaluates, and stores information. Collected information is narrowed down to choose alternatives. Okay, so future purchases are affected by the final purchases. Okay, so very interesting, right? So let's start with consumer behavior. Of course, like us, ang ating desisyon is very changing. Paiba-iba, hindi siya masyadong constant. And then after, the individual consumer is emphasized. Okay? So, nandyan, nag-decide na siya. And then, syempre, the behavior is rational and can be explained. For example, nag-decide na siya. And then, he is still looking, pero pwede bang mag-iba yun? Because a buyer actively searches for. Okay? Hindi nagbabago ang kanyang motivation o ang kanyang reason for searching the different destination na gusto niyang puntahan. Okay? And then whatever na nakuha niya, information man yan, feedback or reviews man yan, word of mouth man yan, mariretain sa kanya yun. Because if he is really interested to go there, whatever na marinig niya about a place, it will really mark on them. For example, ikaw, you want to order a face mask sa Shopee. Di ba, ang titignan mo naman dyan, reviews, the components, kung magkano, it will store the information in you. Okay? Kasi interesado ka. So, it's just the same thing with destination. And those collected information is narrowed down to choose alternatives. Okay? So, dyan papasok kunwari, gusto kong pumunta sa Resort A. Pag hindi okay kay Resort A at fully booked, I have Resort B. If Resort B hindi din fully booked, I have Resort C. But you should remember those destinations are of the same uh, theme. Pare-parehas yung kanyang ini-offer. It's just that the consumer is obliged, or hindi naman siya obliged, but he has the right to choose alternatives. So these future purchases are affected by the final purchases. Okay? What if the destination na napuntahan niya right now ay maganda? So what will be the impact? He will recommend it to his or her friends, and then whatever na sabihin ng mga friend na yon, if it's good, nakaka-influence pa sila ng iba. Okay, so the dynamic modeling theory of travel decision making. Traveler decisions are complex. Okay, so it's varying, iba-iba yan, at iba-iba din ang motivations and factors. So here, explaining tourism behavior. Services typically are produced and consumed simultaneously, and the unstructured model accounts for the decisions that take place on site, consciously and unconsciously. Okay? Often, travel decisions are made based on learning about new activities or perhaps a change in heart about an activity. So here, sinabi nga, si turista ay paiba-iba. Depends on his or her motivation. Sometimes, ikaw din, di ba, you decide to go to a specific place, and then after knowing na, ay, may bago pa lang activity, yung ibang lugar, you will not consider your first decision. You will always come after to your alternative or whatever na nag-motivate sa'yo to reconsider. On-site adjustments are likely to involve a quick evaluation of the trade-offs with little or no cognitive thought. Okay, so sometimes we are deciding unconsciously, especially if time arises na kailangan na natin mag-decide on the spot. So it's just the same thing with the tourist. For example, ang napuntahan nilang hotel ay walang magandang view, yung napuntahan nilang hotel room. So, in just the tap of the finger, those tourists can really fly or can really check out on the spot. O, ay, ayoko na dito, hindi maganda ang view. Ang view ay mga building. I want a sea view or I want mountainous view. Like that. So, tourist decision making, the behavior of the tourist are very complex. It always change.